Good afternoon, students. So, good afternoon to all. Welcome to this the lecture number 2. So, we talk about lecture number 2. So, the date is today's date is 22nd 1/2021. Okay, the topic for the discussion today is levels of modeling. So these are the very important points I'm going to discuss now. Because these are the very essential, everyone should know how to write a Verilog program in brief. Later we will discuss about more details of this one. So let us recapitulate what we have seen in the last class. Okay. So in the last class, we have seen that. So what is the main difference between the conventional digital design, conventional digital design versus complex digital design? Okay, so what we have seen that, so what is the design process that we should follow in the conventional method and the complex digital designs we have seen? Okay, and we have ended with, and we have discussed also about HDL programming, HDLs. What do you mean by the HDL? What are the different HDLs are there? As I mentioned in the previous classes, Verilog is the one HDL programming is available, and another one is VHDL is also another programming language is available. People are nowadays are using system Verilog as well. System Verilog. So we are restricted ourselves to only for Verilog HDL, right? Okay. So there again we have seen that how do we describe any digital system with the help of Verilog HDL? So simple example that we have seen. Simple example we have seen how to write a Verilog program. Okay. So a part of the system, part of the thing only we have seen. Today we will see in detailed discussion about it. Okay. For example, so how many ways I can describe a digital system? The question is how many ways we can describe digital system. So that is the important thing. Our digital circuit, or we can call it as digital system. So I'm not distinguishing the system and circuit, but any digital circuit. Okay. Essentially, there are the three ways are there. One is called gate level. Gate level. At gate level we can describe it. The next one is by using the data flow in the circuit that we can describe. The third one is by observing the behavior we can describe it. So if you consider any digital system, if you take any digital system or digital circuit, okay, so if you know the details about the gate details of this digital system, it is possible to describe at the gate level. So therefore, these people will call it as gate level modeling. It is called gate level modeling. Clear? For example, if you know the details of the digital circuit with the help of Boolean equations, then it is called data flow modeling. Then it is called data flow modeling. If you know the idea of the digital system with the help of a truth tables or its behavior, then it is called behavioral modeling. Right? So how we can understand about the digital circuit? Based on that understanding, we can model our digital circuit by any one of this modeling style. Right? If I know the gate level circuit of the digital circuit, then in Verilog, I can use the gate level modeling. For example, if I know the mathematical equation of a digital circuit, then I can choose the data flow modeling from the Verilog. Or if I know the digital circuit by using some truth tables like the truth tables, if I know the truth table of a digital circuit, then I can use the behavioral modeling from the Verilog. Right? This is called level of modeling, we can call it as, or sometimes we can call it as different modeling styles used in Verilog HDL. It is also says that different modeling styles we use in Verilog HDL, right? Fine. So in the last class, we have seen that the gate level modeling, right? The last class, knowingly or unknowingly, we have done gate level modeling. So let us see. So in this particular class, I'm going to talk about what are the essential modeling styles are there in Verilog, entire Verilog. And if you know the basics about this one, we can go in detailed discussion of modeling style in the coming classes. Okay, and now I'm going to talk about small thing about the gate level modeling in this particular class. Okay, the more detailed discussion about the gate level modeling we'll see in the coming chapters. Similarly, I'm going to talk about the data flow modeling. A brief introduction I'm going to give here. The more detailed discussion we will look at the particular chapter. Similarly, behavioral modeling as well, right? Okay, anyway, let us take one example. How do we write a Verilog program, gate level Verilog program by using this one? So let us consider a simple XOR gate I'm considering. 1, 2, 3. The last class I have stopped, wherever I have stopped, I'm doing that one. So the second one is one gate, third gate, third gate. Okay, so I'm talking about this is called A, for example. This is called B, this is called C. So this is called, as all of you know, that this AB is connected here. Please remember. And for example, A, C, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. BC, I need to connect it. B and C, I need to connect it here. And this is called A and C, I need to connect here. A and C. Okay, something like this, it is connected to this one so that we will find C out signal, right? So this is what the digital circuit we have in our hand, for example. Okay, so I'm talking about this is the digital circuit I have. For example, here I'm considering another way is looking at this way. For example, this is a fader having 3 input signals. In the last class we have seen this is called A, this is B, this is called Cn, this is called some signal, this is called C out signal. Okay, therefore I'm writing for the sake of understanding Can, I'm writing C in C out. Fine. Is it clear? Now, so this is what my top level model, what we can call this is a top level circuit. It is a top level circuit. Okay, so once we know the top level circuit, so this top level circuit, we can call it as an external view of your design. Okay, so what is the inside of this one? This is what we know. Okay, for example, we know the gate level circuit of this top level module. Then if you have these two information at your hand, then it is possible to describe this circuit very easily, right? So how do we do this one? So the last class we have seen. So any digital circuit, I'm showing here FA, any digital circuit in Verilog point of view, we will call it as a module. Everyone knows that, module. A small letters only we have to write, okay? And we have to write as it is, whatever the way that I have shown here. So let us give the name of this module. The name of this module is FA. right? Now, what is the external view of this design I need to write? Once external view that we have to write, that means whatever the variables that you're using for this particular talk or for this particular FA, that we have to write it here. So what are the variables I'm using? A is one variable I'm using, B one using, CAN I'm using, next comma I'm using, sum S I'm using, Cout is the variables that I'm using, right? Now, among all these variables, what are the inputs here? I think it is better to write the keywords with the help of different color. Okay, that's what is a better choice. The keywords I'm writing here. So module is the keyword. Now, so FA is a user-defined one. These variables are user-defined one. Okay, but module you have to write a small letters only since it is a keyword. As you know, everyone that keyword is nothing but is a free-defined one. Okay. Now, among all these inputs, among all these variables, we need to define which is input, which is output. Okay. For that one, I'm going to use input is one keyword I need to write. Right. So, what are the inputs here I'm talking about? The inputs are A, comma, B, comma, CAN. So these are the input signals. After every statement is completed, we have to write semicolon. As I mentioned that it's a programming language. We have to follow the rules and regulations of the language. So one of the rule of the language is after completion of every statement, we have to end it with semicolon, right? Similarly, we have to consider another variables are available here. Those variables are treated as output variables. So what are the output variables among this one? Size, comma, Cout, right? The same way that I have to write. So this is the first step. So this information, where we are getting this information we are getting from the top level module, right? So from the top level module, we are getting that one. Please remember, it's a very, very important. Whenever you are writing a Verilog program, first block level representation of your digital system or external view of your digital system should be known. Is it clear to all of you? Irrespective of the modeling style it is. Irrespective of the modeling styles so far we have discussed, irrespective of this one, first of all, this is what we have to do. Right? Fine. Now, the levels of modelings or different modeling styles are depending upon how we look at the internal circuits. Clear? How we are looking the internal circuits. I'm looking at the internal circuit based on the gate level circuit, right? So therefore that gates I should write at this place. After the output, I should write here the gates. So if I want to write a Verilog program in the gate level modeling, first important thing is that we have to give the names of the gates. For example, G1 is the gate number 1. This is G2. This is G3. This is G4. This is called G5. Right? That is the first thing that I have to do. Okay. Now, I need to call these gates into our main program so that the program will be completed. Okay. So I'm going to call first exclusive OR gate. G1 I want to call. How do I call? So with the help of the name is XOR. So with the help of XOR, this is also keyword. So XOR is the name that I can directly give. XOR. What is the name of this gate? I have given the name of this gate is G1. Okay. So the name of the gate is G1 I have written. First, I should write output signal for this one. So this output, sorry, it is coming outside. Output I should mention. Output is yes. Then we should mention input signals. Inputs are A, B, CAN. So this statement is completed. I need to end with this one. Is it clear to all of you? What I have done? So internal circuit is actually gate level circuit. I am taking one gate. I have written the gate in this way. Everyone should understand. Okay, fine. Next, I'm going to consider so many other gates are also there. I'm going to consider another gate as well. So another gate is G2 I'm going to write. So I'm using the AND gate. This is a keyword AND that is available in the library. And I'm going to write G2 is my name of the gate. So for this gate, what is the output? What is the input? See clearly. So the output is this one. The output is this one, right? The output is this one. But I did not mention any kind of name at this place. But here we have a sum signal is directly available. For this line, the sum is directly available. Therefore, as I'm using. But here I did not mention any kind of name for this one. So for this case, what I can do is that I'm going to use one name, internal name to this one. For example, T1, I'm using the name for that one. Right? So therefore, I'm going to write T1 at this place. So I think use the same color I'm going to use. So T1 I'm using, right? What about the input signals for this one? For this gate is coming from A line, right? This is coming from A line. Another input is coming from B line, right? So the other two inputs are there for this particular gate. Okay. So one is input A, another is input B. Therefore, I will write input A and B at this place. Therefore, this is called A and this is called B. After completion of this one, this is a 2-input gate only. After completion of this one, I can end it with semicolon. Is it clear to all of you for the gate 2? Somebody write it in the chat box. Is it clear? From D section as well as from here, B section, everyone should know that. Okay, please understand what I'm discussing. So once you are very clear, whatever the topic that I'm discussing in this particular class, this is 90% confidence you will get. This subject is very easy. Okay. So if you're not able to understand now, we are going to talk about more things in the coming classes, then it will be little bit difficulty will be there for you. Okay. So please try to understand. Okay. Now let us talk about G3 also. Okay, G3. What about G3? Now let us write. So again, we have another AND gate is there. We have another AND gate is there. What is the name of this gate? The name of the gate is G3. Okay. So first of all, we have to write output for the gates. That's what we should not forget. Okay, this is the gate output I should mention. What is the name? Name is not available. Therefore, let us give one name. C2, let us give. Okay, write the name C2, sorry, T2. T2 is the one variable as an output signal. What are the inputs for this one? It is coming from B input. It is coming from C input, right? It is coming from C input. Therefore, it is the B is one input signal, sorry. So B is one input signal, C is another input signal, CAN is another input signal, right? So that is the third gate. What about the fourth gate? We have also fourth gate is there. So that is also an AND gate. Therefore, that is also a keyword. Fourth gate I'm writing. And I think it's better to copy this one. Sorry. It's it. Okay, I'm not able to do that one. I think better can study in this way only. Paste. Okay, now it's possible. Okay, now it will be visible for you. Visible. Okay, we are talking about G4. What about the G4 we are talking about here? G4, let us consider the G4. It is G4. G4. What is the name that let us give here again? So here also there is no name for this one. Let us give T3. So what are the input signals here? This is actually coming from A. This is coming from C, right? So these signals are available outside to the world. Okay, outside నుంచి connect అయి ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి నేను నేమ్స్ ఇవ్వట్లేదు, అదే నేను స్పెసిఫై చేయట్లేదు, because already that is available. But T1, T2, T3 is not available. So that is the reason why I'm not using that. Therefore, this is called T3. Next inputs are A, Ci. That's it. Next, last one is gate number G5 is also there. So I'm going to use G5. It is an OR gate. That is called G5. That is G5. Please tell me how can I write this statement?
Cout comma T1 comma T2 comma T3.
Exactly. So it is actually Cout because that is directly available. Output is directly available, and inputs are T1 comma T2 comma T3, right? So of course T3 first you can write, T2 second you can write, T1 also you can write it last. It doesn't matter. But you have to remember that the first variable for any gate must be an output. First variable for any gate must be an output. You should not forget about that, right? So that's what we can write. Finally, we can write end module. Finally, we need to write end module. So end module. You have to write, you should not give any kind of space between end and module. You should not write any kind of semicolon at last. Okay, so this is what the Verilog program in the gate level modeling.
Hello, sir.
Is it clear to all of you? Is any doubt? Is there?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is it not required to predefine this T1, T2, T3?
Yeah, exactly. Good question. We have to define that one. Okay, so for that one, I'm going to write one statement here. We need to write while, because unless otherwise we are defining T1, T2, T3, the simulator can to know what is T1, T2, T3. Therefore, we should write it as wires. These are internal wires, right? So these are all the internal wires. Therefore, I should write T1, T2, T3 are wires. T1 wires are T1, comma T2, comma T3. Is it clear? It is necessary to write the T1, T2, T3 as wires. So this is what the gate level modeling, entire syllabus or the entire chapter, the gate level modeling is one chapter is there. Entire chapter we are discussing about this gate modeling only. Okay, so instead of one full adder, we take another 2x4 decoder. Instead of the 2x4 decoder, we have a 3x8 decoder or 4x2 encoders. Like this, so many digital circuits are there in our syllabus. Okay, those digital circuits we need to describe in this way. So this is called gate level modeling. So very simplest way of writing the Verilog program once we know the gate level modeling. Okay, so if you know this one, almost 20% of the Verilog course is very easy. 20% మీకు తెలిసినట్లే. Fine. Okay. Here let us consider some points. So some basic points let us consider. Okay. The first and foremost important thing is that we should know that first thing is that here we are using gate primitives. What we are using? Here we are using gate primitive statements. So what is this gate primitive statements? We will discuss exclusively in the gate level modeling concept. Okay, so whatever the gate that we are considering here, this is called gate primitive statement. Okay, how many number of gate primitive statements we have used so far? We have used OR gate, AND gate, AND gate, AND gate, XOR gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5x gate primitive statements we have used. Okay, and one more thing is that we should know that when we have to use the gate level modeling, once we know gate level circuit. So unless otherwise, if you don't know about the gate level circuit, we are not able to write a gate level modeling. Is it clear? So this is what the fundamental we should know about the gate level modeling in Verilog HDL. Clear? So this is one way. So let us consider another modeling style. How do we describe this same full adder with the help of other modeling styles? Okay, so let us consider. The second modeling style is called, okay, somebody has doubt. Instead of choosing the gate level modeling, it is better to write Boolean expressions to know a search. So that's program size. Okay, yes, that's true. So that's what the discussion now. So the next one is data flow modeling. Data flow modeling. Okay. So the same circuit, let us consider. Instead of writing this much size of gate, that internal circuit. So let us change the internal circuit. Okay. I don't want to use this internal circuit again here. For example, okay. So instead of using this particular internal circuitry, I don't want to use this one. Okay. The same information can be known. This is called sum signal. Sorry, this is the sum, for example. This is a Cout, right? Okay, this is the A signal, B signal, Cn signal. I'm extremely sorry. This is called A, this is called B, this is called Cn. Okay. So I can understand the internal circuitry with the help of equations. I can write directly some signal as A XOR B XOR C, right? Cout is nothing but AB plus BC plus CA. This is what I know. This is what I know about the internal. This is another way to look at the internal circuitry, right? So now I'm going to use this one with the help of a language. Okay, so that is called data flow modeling. So here we have to use Boolean equations directly into your program. Okay, so whether it is a data flow modeling, whether it is a gate level modeling, it doesn't matter. The top level module is the same, right? Top level module, what it says that, what is the external view of your design, right? So therefore, I can start the program in this way. Okay, so this is also a modeling style, full adder. For sake of understanding, FA data flow, that is what the name I'm giving for the sake of understanding. Initially, I have given FA. Now I'm using the name. This is called identifier. FA underscore adder I'm giving, right? So here, the inputs, what are the variables I'm using? A I'm using, B I am using, Cn I'm using, S I'm using, Cout also I'm using, right? So after this one is completed. Again, I need to mention what is the variable, what are the input signals among these things. Okay, whatever the output signals among this one, I should write. Okay, fine. What about output signal here now? Output is some signal comma Cout signal, right? Now we have to write the internal view. Internal view is based on mathematical equations, as all of you know that. So let us write the internal statements. So internal statements can be written in this way. So we are going to use the equations, right? Those equations are called assignment equations, or we can call it as assignment. Assignment equations are directly XOR B XOR Cn. So this is how the mathematical equations we should write in Verilog point of view. Okay, so here whatever the variables that I'm using here, the symbols are meant for Boolean algebra symbols, but these symbols here we are writing these symbols. These are called Verilog operators. Right? Yes. What is your doubt?
Sir, can you repeat again that statement, sir? Your voice is not clarity, sir. So,
okay, fine. So the top level module is okay, fine for you. Whatever the top module discussion I have done, is
Yes,
it
sir.
okay?
I
Whether
want
it is
the
a data
assigned
flow modeling?
statement, sir. I
Yeah.
want the assigned statements.
Yeah. So if you want to write any Boolean equation in your program, if you want to write any equation in your Verilog program, we have to use the assign keyword. Okay, assign is the keyword that we have to use in order to write Boolean equations. Okay, but when you're writing the Boolean equations, we have to use the Verilog operators. So this is the inverted symbol that we have to use. This is the Verilog operators. With the help of Verilog operators only, I need to write a Boolean equation, right? So we will discuss about what are the Verilog operators are there, how do we use all these things. We'll discuss concern to the data flow modeling. Okay, so that's what. And we have another statement is also there. For that one, again, we have to use another assignment statement, right? Assign. Again, we have cout is available. Cout is nothing but A and B. This is how we need to write it. So this is the one operation. Or this is what we have to use a symbol. Or B and CAN I have to write. Or CAN and A. That is what we have to write. So after that, we have to give semicolon. So here the operators here is the dot symbol and plus, here the dot and plus we are using. These are called Verilog operators. Okay, that's all. So the program is completed. So therefore we have to write, finally we have to write end module. That's all. So this is what we talk about the data flow modeling in the entire chapter. Okay, so what are the different operators are there depending upon your logic circuitry, what kind of symbols that we have to use, all these things we will look at in the data flow modeling chapter. Okay, so very, very simplest programming language. Is it clear to all of you? How do we write a data flow modeling? Please write in the chat box. Those who are not able to understand this data flow modeling, please raise your hand, then I will explain again. So very simple one. Only thing is that, sir, again, tell me once assignment statement. Okay, fine. So the assignment statements actually in Verilog in Boolean algebra, yeah, fine. In Boolean algebra, we use the basic equation something like this, right? S is equal to AX or BX or CM. The Cout is equal to AB plus BC plus CA. These are the Boolean equations, right? These are all Boolean equations. These Boolean equations we should write in Verilog as a continuous statements, as assignment statements. So if you want to treat this one Boolean equation in Verilog point of view as an assignment statement, then we have to use the assign keyword. Okay, assign is the keyword that I have to write. So after assign, then we have to write the mathematical equation. Again, we have to write assign, we have to write the equation for that one. So we should not write without assign, we should not write the equation directly. Right? So in order to mention the Boolean equations in Verilog point of view, we have to use the assign keyword. That's all, as simple as that. Right? Okay. So therefore, let us conclude what do you mean by what we have studied from this one. So we should know that in this particular data flow modeling, continuous assignment statements we have used. Please remember, in the gate level modeling, what statements we have used there? Gate primitive statements we have used there. But what about here we are using? Continuous assignment statements we are using. Right. So therefore, one particular statement is called a assignment statement, or technically we can call it as a continuous assignment statement. So we will talk about what we mean by the continuous assignment in the later on. Okay. As simple as that, you have to understand that continuous assignment statements we have to use. And another thing is that what we have to do, we should know Boolean equations. If you want to use the data flow modeling, we should know Boolean equations. Unless otherwise, If you don't know about the Boolean equations, it is not possible to describe it, right? Another important point is that we have to use Verilog operators. Verilog operators. So something like this: XOR, not XOR, AND gate, OR gate, okay, NAND gate, something like this, NOR gate. So all these things we will see in the next coming classes. Fine, don't worry about it. Similarly, here also I want to clear one point here also. Here we have to use gate primitives like AND, small AND that I have to use. Okay, small OR I have to use, small NOR I have to use, small XOR I have to use, something like this. We have to use all the small letters only. These are all gate primitive statements we have to use in gate level modeling. But here we have to use these symbols. Okay, see, so we are reducing the complexity from more number of gate structures. So gate structure means, of course, full adder means only 5 gates are there, but more number of gates are there. It is very difficult for to write a Verilog program in the gate level modeling. So that will be simplified by using the data flow modeling. So here the number of inputs are again increasing. It is also not up to the mark. Okay, therefore another modeling style is also there, that is called behavioral modeling. That is called behavioral modeling. Okay. So here what we have to do. Here, of course, again, let us consider we have a top level module. For the sake of simplicity, I'm taking the hop adder. Please identify this one. Hop adder I'm considering. So one input is A, another input is B. Some signal we have to consider. Cout is my output signal. So the top level for everything is the same. Of course, if you are, I think if you are not comfortable, I'm writing the full adder only so that complexity can be reduced as full adder. Okay, therefore this is called B, this is called CAN. Okay, now the same circuitry, we are going to look at the internal circuit with the help of some conditional statements. Or I can say that truth table. For the sake of understanding, I'm writing the truth table, but it should not be like that. But another thing is there. But Cout, let us write in this way. Okay, so the internal representation or internal circuitry is understood with the help of truth table. Okay, so by using direct mathematical, we are not going to use for the mathematical equation. We are not going to use for the gate level circuit for this one. Okay, just directly, whatever the truth table is there, the truth table information I'm going to utilize to describe this full adder. Okay, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. So that is 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Right. So therefore, the internal circuit is based on this particular truth table I am going to consider. Okay. So therefore, even though it is a behavioral modeling, the top level model is the top level modeling is the same, right? What is the top level model? FA underscore behavioral. For the sake of understanding, I'm writing the behavioral. Okay. It consisting of again A input, B input, CAN input, some signal, and Cout signal, right? Is it clear? Again, we are writing, this is an input signal is, out of all these things, inputs are, again, we know that same things, A, B, CAN. Okay. Next, we consider Cout. Sorry, output signals are, what are the output signal I have to consider? Some signal and Cout. Okay. Now, finally, I'm going to write one last statement because the time is up. So then I write end module. The question is, how do we place this truth table at this point? Okay. The question is, how do we place the truth table information into this main program? Okay. So that will be the topic of discussion in the next class. Okay. So I hope you have understand what are the different levels of modelings are available in the Verilog HDL. Okay, essentially, we are talking about the data flow modeling. Sorry, gate level modeling. And the second modeling style is gate level data flow modeling. Third one is behavioral modeling. Okay, so only the basic definitions I have given, how to write a program for a particular digital circuit. The same theory is applicable for complicated circuits as well. Once you are familiar with this gate level modeling and data flow modeling and behavioral modeling, your 90% of the subject knowledge, you may get that one. Okay. So thank you very much. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Otherwise, we can stop. So meanwhile, just a second.